It's that time of the sprint again, the sprint review, the opportunity to show what the team has built. And the dev team is setting up shop in one of the meeting rooms, and while Amy connects her laptop to a projector, Jason nervously rearranges his notes that he's prepared. "Shall I demonstrate the basic search experience?" he asks senior developer Amy with a hint of uncertainty in his voice. Amy nods, and as the clock hits 11, the stakeholders start dropping in and awkwardly find spots around the huge table. Malik, the product owner, arrives and settles in one of the more comfortable chairs at the head of the table. He then turns towards the dev team and signals the start of the sprint review. "Take it away, guys." And 40 minutes later, the dev team has gone through their list of completed items and demonstrated everything worth showing. And as the demo wraps up, the audience offers a mild applause to the dev team. In this lecture, we will look at why we do sprint reviews, and we'll address the myth that the sprint review is simply a demo of the working product. So what did the sprint team do wrong? Well, here are some telltale signs that a sprint review is not working well. Firstly, the developers and stakeholders sit separately, occupying different parts of the room. And secondly, PowerPoints or slides are used instead of the actual working product, and none of the stakeholders actually get to try out the product, and there's little input from the stakeholders. Also, there is a general air of discomfort or nervousness among the dev team. And of course, the sprint review is called a demo by the team. By treating the sprint review primarily as a demo, the purpose of this crucial opportunity for inspection and adaptation is lost. And too many Scrum teams approach the sprint review as their moment to show progress and give a product update, to sell what was built to the stakeholders or to talk about what they did. Now, the Scrum Guide describes the sprint review as an event that is held at the end of the sprint to inspect the increment and adapt the product backlog if needed. And it emphasizes that during the sprint review, the Scrum team and stakeholders have to collaborate about what was done in the sprint. So the two key takeaways there are collaboration and transparency about the state of the product increment and the product backlog. So what could the team do differently? Well, firstly, the stakeholders and dev team members should be almost indistinguishable to an outsider. They have to have a close working relationship for this to work. And the participants have to be actively invited to offer feedback, suggestions, and ideas. And the product backlog also has to have a prominent place during the sprint review and has to be actively adjusted as new insights emerge. And rather than viewing the sprint review as an opportunity for the dev team to present the increment to the product owner, the sprint review is more about the entire Scrum team, product owner included, sharing the increment with the stakeholders. So take a look at these pictures of a good sprint review session. You'll notice a couple of things. Firstly, the dev team members are paired up with the stakeholders, where each stakeholder can directly check out the results of the sprint with the guidance of a developer. And this looks to me a lot more like an Apple store than a boardroom presentation. And notice also that they're using an active format where everyone is standing up and not sitting around a screen. So the sprint review should be viewed more as a feedback party than a boring presentation. And speaking of boring presentation formats, it's about time for me to stop talking and for us to do another practical exercise again. So in the next lesson, we will run our first sprint retrospective together. See you soon.